Hello, my name is Cinta Khulwa. So in this video, me and my friends will tell about our group discussion about interpersonal relationship types. So my group consists with me, Cinta Khulwa, and then Dionetta Jusuf, and Dikiy, Roja, Nirriauwan, and also Rizki Adi Bagaskara. Okay, move on to the next slide. Okay, the learning objectives we will learn today is how to define friendship and explain it how it develops. And then we describe the various types of love and summarize the characteristics of families and distinguish among couple and family types. Also, we will learn how to describe and create to maintain successful workplace relationship. And lastly, we will explain the guidelines to dealing with jealousy and violence. Okay, so today outlines we will serve about information about friendship relationship, love relationship, family relationship, workplace relationship, and lastly, the dark side of interpersonal relationship. Okay, first thing we will learn today is the friendship. So friendship could be defined as a friendship as an interpersonal relationship where there are two persons in interpersonal communication that has been going, so it forms a relationship. And then friendship must be mutually productive, where the two person has contribute to the relationship in some way. And then friendship could be characterized by a mutual positive regard. And then friendship could be differ as three types, such as friendship are reciprocatory, where is the ideal type of friendship that could be characterized by loyalty, self-sacrifice, mutual affection, and generosity. This type based on equality, where each individual shares equally, giving and receiving the benefits of the relationship. And second, there are friendship of receptivity, where there's an imbalance in giving and receiving. So maybe in example, one person are giving their contribute to the relationship, but the other one has a less contribute to the other person. And then lastly, there are association friendship, where that could be described as a friendly relationship rather than a true one. So it's not really they are in the friendship are not really the stage where they are talking about each other and giving truth about each other. So they only has formal friendship relationship. Okay, now move on to the next slide. There are variety needs of friendship, such as first, utility is where one person has, or both of the person has a special skills or talents or resources that could be useful to the other person. And then second, affirmation is where the person is affirming the other person personal value and help them to organize their attributes. And then third, ego support is where the person or both of the person behaves in a supportive, encouraging, also helpful manner to the other person. And then stimulation is where the person introduce the other person a new perspective to the world, the new ideas and how to see the world, and etc. Also, lastly, there are security. Is where the person would not have who does nothing to hurt the other person or call the other person attention to their weaknesses. Of course, in friendship there are communication that been happening. There are three main stage of friendship development. First is contact, is where both of the person introduce themselves, learning about new things about themselves to each other, and have a first communication stages as how they forming a relationship. And then involvement is where a clear sense of oneness, they form a togetherness on their clear sense, and they democrates their communicates to a sense of immediacy. So they more more often talk to each other, more open to each other, and think that they are both of in a relationship. And then lastly, of course, close and intimate relationship where they feel recognize that both of the person are close and intimate, and such as in example, there are me have a best friend who I share my secrets, my thoughts, and then my ideas that we could discuss to each other freely and honestly without have to scared to hurt to each other. It's a close relationship. And lastly, there are types of friendship. It's called friends with benefits, where it's most likely they are only a friends to each other. They feel like they are only friends, but they revere a relationship that involving a sex. So they have sex, but they are not in love relationships. Okay, move on to the next slide. We will talk about friendship, culture, and gender. So the types of friendship that has been developed, of course, they serve the serve they need depend on greatly on one's culture and gender. As culture and friendship really has an impact to the friendship itself, such as example how people in Jakarta, friendship in Jakarta are really different with friendship in Sumatra. It's about that could be seen on how they talk, how they swear, how they give information about themselves, and etc. And then gender also differs how people have joined in friendship. As Dolgin, Mayer, and Squart state that gender-influenced friendship, perhaps the best documented finding is that women are most likely disclose more than men. As we know, women mostly talk the most, and then could be able to share their feeling the most. What are they thinking, and etc. Not and also there are many men that couldn't be honest about their self to their friendship. So most likely gender could differ someone to disclose their self to the other person they have in a friendship. And then we will talk about the guidelines for communication between friends. Of course, first thing first, we have to engage in dual perspective. We have to see the friendship from our perspective and the other person perspective, and then we must communicate honestly. Honestly is the main thing to keep the friendship close, and then we must grow from our difference, not differ it to one another. And of course, don't sweat small stuff. We must talk about our concern if we have a concern through to our friends. So as we know, social media is one of the platform that could be platform to friends communicate to each other. Yet many online friendship not as rich as close as the face-to-face friendship, because due to the noise that coming from the social media. And then research showing that people often disclose more and more quickly online than they do in person, suggests that online friendship may have a distinct trajectory which revelation occurs sooner. Many people find it easier to talk in social media than they have to talk in face-to-face. Also, social media could be used to engage cyberbullying, which could be on text message or commenting on social media platforms such as Instagram, that constitutes of bullying and judgment to person they doesn't like. And also it could really differs on bullying in face-to-face, such social media cyberbullying is often prepared only anonymously and cyberbullying has no necessarily stopping point. So that's the end of my presentation about friendship. Dionetta will talk about love relationship on the next slide.
Hello, Miss Nursamsiah and friends. I'm here to explain about love relationship. From all the qualities of interpersonal relationship, love is the most important. Love is a feeling characterized by closeness and caring and by intimacy, passion, and commitment. Love is an interpersonal relationship that developed, maintained, and sometimes destroyed through the communication. There are 6 types of love. The first one is eros, or beauty and sexuality, which means someone will fall in love with the beauty of his own image. Eros love focuses on beauty and physical appearance. And the second one is ludus, or entertainment and excitement. Love is experienced as a game, as fun. The better you can play the game, the more you get the enjoyment. Love is not to be taken too seriously. Emotions are to be held in check lest they get out of hand and make trouble. The third one is storge, peaceful and slow. Storge is a word that comes from Greek for familial love. Love lacks passion and intensity. Storge lovers set out not to find lovers but to establish a companionable relationship with someone they know and with whom they can share interests and activities. The fourth is pragma, or practical and traditional. The pragma lover is practical and seeks relationship that will work. Pragma lovers want compatibility and relationship in which their important needs and desires will be satisfied. Family and background are extremely important to the pragma lover, who relies not so much in feelings as on logic. The pragma lover loves a useful relationship that makes the rest of life easier. Next is mania. Mania, or elation and depression. Mania is characterized by extreme high and extreme lows. These manic lovers loves intensely and at the same time intensely worries about the loss of the love. With little provocation, the manic lover may experience extreme jealousy. And last one is agape. Agape, or compassionate and selfless. The agapic lover loves even people with whom he or she has no close ties. This lover loves a stranger on the road, even though the two of them probably will never meet again. Okay, next slide. Love, culture, and gender. The first one is culture and love. Every culture could diverse on how people affect their love. Love is seen differently in different culture. Next one is gender and love. Gender could diverse how a person defines love. In terms of love, women and men have their own characteristics. Much research says that men place more emphasis on romance than women. Next, love and communication. Communication is likely at its most intimate in love relationship. Verbal and non-verbal messages echo the intimacy of love relationship. And there are some guidelines for communicating and love romantically in relationships. First one is engage in dual perspective. You must think by looking from 2 points of view. And the next one is manage conflict constructively. And the last one is adapt communication to maintain long-distance relationships. Next slide, social media and love. Social media also offer opportunities for infidelity. In many ways, social media have more romantic relationships for easier to form and maintain romantic relationships. Social media have introduced new challenges for people seeking romance. But besides that, people may give false information about their physical attractiveness, and people who are less attractive are more likely to embellish their photographs, and sell descriptions. Another concern about social media is the potential of cyber stalking.
Hello, my name is Dikiy Roja and I'm here to tell you more about family relationship. So here I will explain slide 11, this slide talking about family relationship. Family can be defined into four types. That is defined roles, recognition and responsibilities, share history and future, and share living space. Next is three couple types. That is traditional. Traditional couple is share a basic belief system and philosophy of life. They see themselves as blending of two persons into a single couple rather than as two separate individuals. They're interdependent and believe that each individual's independence must be sacrificed for the good of the relationship. Second is independent couples. The relationship is important but never more important than each person's individual identity. Although independent spend a great deal of time together, they don't ritualize. For example, with the schedule, each individual spend time with outside friends. Last is spirit couples. Spirit couples is live together but view their relationship more as a matter of convenience than a result of their mutual love or closeness. They seem to have little desire to be together and, in fact, usually are together only a ritual function, such as mealtime or holiday get-togethers. It's important to spirits that it has his or her own physical as well as physiological space. Next, four types of family. That is consensual families, protective families, pluralistic families, and laissez-faire families. Next, slide 12. There are family and communication, and this part divided into four parts. That is equality pattern, the balanced split pattern, the unbalanced split pattern, and monopoly pattern. And these guidelines for effective communication in families, maintain equity and family relationship, make daily choice that enhance intimacy, show respect and consideration, and don't sweat the small stuff. And last, family, culture, and gender. There is the role and rules of the family vary greatly from one culture to another and are viewed differently by men and women. Next, for slide 13. Social media and family social media increase the ways that family members can interact. Social media make it easy for teenagers to stay in touch with parents, but it makes it difficult for teenagers to reach a healthy level of separation of parents. Social media facilitates communication when family members no longer live together or even at close range. Social media also adds to family communication by providing opportunities for social support outside of family members and friends.
As God creatures, humans cannot live alone. Although physically they can, but psychologically it is impossible. Human needs other people to acknowledge their existence. Relationships with others will become evident if the person is growing. It can even be said that relationships with others are basic needs. Relationships with others are not limited by time and place. Relationships can occur anywhere. This social relationship is very important role. In social relations, there will be a sense of security and insecurity. This feeling of security is what a person desires in social relations. In the world of work, even though we are in the modern era, where everything can be controlled with the latest technology, success and our happiness are still very dependent on the success of creative networking. Stabilizing social relationships with anyone becomes an important part in all life activities, whether at work, home, campus, public places, and other else. What exactly does networking mean so that it has a huge impact in our lives? Networking is building relationships with other people or organizations that influence professional and personal success. Because networking is more than just getting acquainted, but sharing potential and information, gaining integrity and influence, and creating a vision that directs the ability of each individual to do something about others. Broadly speaking, In establishing networking must be based on the principle of mutual benefit and two-way communication. When many people feel less successful in establishing networking because they only know or exchange business cards, building the power of networking can only be done in an organized manner, and the most important thing is to have the same goals and values. This is what is called a work culture in networking. This work culture will be a powerful catalyst in achieving goals according to mutually agreed values. So not all associations will produce maximum result, because if only gathered without having the same value, then the tendency to show themselves is very high. Networking is as important as communication skills. The main requirement for building network lies in communication skills. Start by opening communication with other people. Use the initiative to meet someone or several people in an opportunity. Every person you meet is a door to success. Another requirement that is no less important is having and applying a giving and sharing attitude and creating goals. Every individual experiences a process of adaptation when facing a new environment. The question that arises may be, what will the new environment be like? What will be faced in the new environment? How to deal with these new things? Questions like this may have crossed our mind, both as a new student or employees who just joined an institution. One way that can be used and provided in the new York environment to help new employees adapt to the new environment is mentoring. Mentoring is a relationship between two employees, with more experienced employee offering advice or coaching, counseling, friendship, and acting as a role model. In organization, the role of mentors is often done by superiors, but it can also be done by colleagues of the same level but with more experience. Mentoring can be said as one of the training process aimed at helping new employees to have an orientation in work and assist in career development for a certain time. In the mentoring process, the knowledge transfer process occurs so that new employees are better prepared to face challenges. Mentoring can work well if each party involved in it contributes to mentoring. The role of the mentors to offer confidence, be willing to share and protect, and be reliable, while those who get mentoring, or mentee as it's called, contribute by providing a good performance record, showing high commitment, loyal, and professional. There are several roles of mentors, namely: first, leaders by inspiring mentees. 2. Models, making themselves role model for mentees. 3. Coach, by providing support to mentees to build their own strength, giving direction and also encouragement to achieve success. 4. Teachers, share experience and knowledge, make mentoring program enjoyable. 5. Advisors, providing specialized knowledge. 6. Buddies, become friends with mentees who are fostered. And 7. Counselors, willing to listen, create a pleasant climate, and don't regulate mentees. Other benefits taken in mentoring are emotional support, especially for female employees, and career assistance for male employees. This is in line with research conducted by O'Brien, Biga, and Kessler and Allen in 2010, which conducted a study to examine difference in the acceptance of mentoring in general for men and women. Finally, concluding mentoring is beneficial for developing employees and contributing to job satisfaction and commitment to the organization. In an office, sometimes there are several things that happen, one of which is the office romance. This one is indeed often enough, given the involvement of each of the people who often meet and work together. In fact, everyone also meet every day, and no one can control everyone's feelings. It also doesn't hurt to start a relationship with colleagues. The most important thing is that it will not affect your performance at work or the people around us. There are facts that are known according to a recent study by Harris Poll, which has surveyed more than 80 employees in America, where there are some facts like the following. First, as many 36% of employees have had a love affair with coworkers, usually employees with less than 10 years in service. 2. 31% of employees who are dating one office will end up in the altar. Third, 24% of the romance in the office is done by people who are already married. Fourth, in addition, 6% of employees resign because the romance at work will not run smoothly. In addition, we must also pay attention to some things involved in office romance, so that later it will not affect our professionalism in our office. Some of them are as follows. 1. Avoid having romantic relationship with superiors or subordinates directly. 2. Avoid making out in the office area. Third, don't use company email. 4. Request a transfer to another department. 5. Reread the office rules. 6. Make a deal with a partner. 7. Maintain ethics in the office. 8. Be sensitive and respect other colleagues. Those are some things you need to know if you are involved in office romance with your coworkers. Actually, you have to find various ways to make the atmosphere in the office relaxed as usual, in the sense that working is not interrupted by your relationship with a special colleague, so that all activities in the office can be complete with maximum. For workers, it has become commonplace if time and attention will be devoted to work. Spending hours with coworkers in the office is a daily meal. Therefore, good relation with colleagues is the most important thing that must be considered, because it will be very sad if you spend hours with the people who are not liked. Not only make each other feel comfortable, a good relationship will also make the work environment more conducive. For this reason, it is important for you to increase your attractiveness so that coworkers like you and your relationship will run smoothly. Then, how do you get coworkers to like us? Here are 5 important points you should consider to attract attention of coworkers. 1. Doing all the work well. If you can be relied on, this makes the work of your coworkers easier. Being a reliable professional will get you the trust of your boss, coworkers, and client. If they rely on you, this proves that your performance is good. 2. Show your interest. Ask questions that are specific to coworkers and make it a point to remember what you have talked before. 3. Respect colleagues. If you see someone feeling uncomfortable with themselves, it's good to help them regain their confidence. Be a pleasant person being polite so that other people feel comfortable. 4. Be a good listener when colleagues tell their stories. When in the office, chatting with each other to tell stories or problems become commonplace. Be a good listener by letting your interlocutors complete their story. When the time comes, it's your turn to take turns with the story. Being a good listener is important in establishing a harmonious relationship with colleagues. 5. Remember the name. Some simple thing that you do will certainly leave a good impression. Building familiarity with coworkers can start from remembering names and calling them while you're chatting. This makes the other person feel respected. Jealousy is a natural human instinct, which is felt when a threat, whether it's a thing or someone, that is considered harmful to one's existence. Jealousy makes you feel uncomfortable, unappreciated, sensitive, angry, sad, frustrated, and can even lead to anxiety or depression. Even so, jealousy is natural and formal for every human being to feel. Jealousy is normal and is needed when you are in relationship. However, you and your partner must know first what they want in the relationship and establish mutually agreed boundaries. For example, you both agree on a rule not to walk with your ex. Jealousy is a sign that you value a commitment that was previously made together and will feel disappointed if the commitment is broken. Jealousy that you experience is also one of form of expression that you care about and want your relationship to remain lasting, because jealousy causes surge in the level of hormones testosterone and cortisol in your body. Both of these hormones make you have a desire to maintain a partner every time you are struck by jealousy. This is also reinforced by the increased activity of the lateral left septum, the part of the brain that play a role in controlling emotion and bonding in partners. One of the things you can relieve feelings of jealousy and discomfort is to build trust in yourself and your partner. Always instill in your relationship that communication is important in relationship. You and your partner must be equally committed to open one another when problems occur, especially about jealousy. Expressing jealousy with anger, insinuating, or accusing your partner of all sorts of things won't make the atmosphere better. Your sense of narration is also impossible to answer. It's good to always communicate well with a cool head. Then explain your feelings and discuss together how to find a solution. This will allow you to feel more relief, content to express your heart content, and prevent your partner from being confused by your jealous behavior. Not only in the household, violence in courtship is real. According to data published by Indonesia Ministry of Women Empowerment and Child Protection or Kemen PPPA, 42.7% of unmarried women have experienced violence, then as many as 2,090 people out of a total 10,847 perpetrators of violence have the status of boyfriend. Unfortunately, although it often happens, not many people take the violence in courtship seriously, especially young people who consider this to be natural or even a sign of affection. Therefore, the characteristic of violence in courtship must be recognized both by young people and parents. Do not let the relationship actually damage the future and provide pre-launch trauma. Violence in courtship is not only limited by physical violence. Emotional, sexual, and verbal violence can also be done by couples who are abusive or toxic. You may already know that kicking, hitting, pushing, or even biting is included in physical violence. Victim must be aware that this is dating violence. More than that, providing meeting with friends, calling with inappropriate names, or yelling at you is also included in emotional and verbal violence. Continuously persuading to have sex, even though you have clearly refused to be able to enter a sexual violence. There are many forms of violence in courtship, and all of them can cause trauma to their victims. In fact, along with the times, also emerged a new type of violence, namely digital violence. If you feel that you are experiencing violence in a relationship and want to end relationship, do not hesitate. Keep in mind the things below. You are a victim, and the violence is not your fault. You are not the cause of partner being abusive. You have the right to be treated with dignity. You deserve to get and live a happy and safe life. You are not alone, and there are many people who will help you. Don't be afraid of things that will happen if you break up. There are many people who will help you. You can also call the complaint number or come directly to the Women National Commission office. And please do not hesitate to ask for protection when you experience dating violence or witness any friends or relatives who experience it. The faster it is carried out, the less violent the impact will be.
As Bagas have finished told you the last topic on our presentation, here our reference that consists the source of our material. We really hope you guys learn something from our presentation. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.